wait. Okay, so your music isn't about to play. Oh, it is about to play.
I woke up sleeping on a step somewhere, and my phone was dead. And he's screaming, saying, "Come get me!" And there's two cops with their hands on their gun.
Oh my, Dave! You walked into a situation.
So I walked into a horrible situation. So I walked up, and she goes, "Can I help you?" And I said, "Well, I needed a charge, but I think I'll take a room." And it cost me $350 to stay there from 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. in the morning.
And that's what's attractive about Airbnbs is you're going to pay $350 a night.
Yeah.
And what, you're going to be able to sleep 4 people max if you're sharing beds?
I literally stayed at the Hyatt for $350 for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you
I mean, the breakfast was good. I got good coffee. I mean, it was good eggs and stuff, but I literally stayed there for 5 hours and they charged me $350.
Yeah. No, let me ask you this. Let's talk about your patrons after they leave. Did they leave messes? Do they go through your girlfriend's underwear drawers? Do they mess with your sex toys?
Oh my
Do they use your shampoo? Do they leave stains on your carpet?
No, we have actually really only had a few bad experiences. One situation had a bunch of broken glass in the driveway, which is more
Not bad.
normal.
Well,
It was
you
easy, it took me 10 minutes,
Expect
sweeped
that.
it up.
Yeah.
Not that big of a deal.
What did
Right
they
there.
do to your house?
Yeah, and so NFL draft, I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be a bunch of rowdy NFL fans. Well, come to find out, there was a Jimmy Buffett concert in town, and that's the type.
2 for 1.
That's who was staying at our house. Is a
One-
group that was going to the Jimmy
you got
Buffett
the old
concert.
school, old people.
Yes.
I'll tell you guys
So
one
it
thing.
was old people that messed your.
Well,
Them
we're not
fuckers,
there.
them Jimmy Buffett fuckers.
I don't
they're
trust
old
them.
They're fucking wild. You can't trust them.
Oh, hell no.
And I didn't know that.
Hell no, they're
So,
smoking weed. They're doing acid. They're doing all kinds of shit off.
Well, walked in,
Jimmy
our house was wrecked. Confetti everywhere. Popped balloons, Lays, flowers everywhere. And then they had moved our trash can to like the corner and like propped the lid open and had to be like shooting their trash from across the room because there was mustard on the walls, ketchup on the
jeez.
walls. Like they were throwing fucking hot dogs in a goddamn trash can.
A wiener contest.
There was something
That's what
going
it
on
was.
there. Realistically, I mean, since I've lived there 50, 60 times, we've probably rented it out. I've seen 2 bad experiences. Everything else is positive.
Yeah.
Our stuff isn't messed
That's
with.
good. That means there's good people still
Right.
out
We
there.
lock our important stuff up in the closets that they don't have access to.
I bet you do lock your stuff up.
And
I bet.
honest to God, I can be 100% transparent. Yeah, well, that'd be a little weird. I'll tell you what.
Wrong
they might
drawer.
go through the underwear
wrong
drawer, but
drawer,
I don't know.
Wrong drawer.
Yeah, it's a little weird, but yeah, I mean,
What? Jesus. The hell's that?
That's a 10 speed.
yeah. I mean, the worst we've had is like the mustard and stuff. So most of the time, realistically, I come home and it's cleaner than we probably left it.
We all 3 played college basketball at the lower level at a community college.
This.
We played at a college called OUC. It was Ohio University Chillicothe. It's a branch college off of Athens. And Athens is one of the best party schools in the nation. Everybody knows that.
One thing people don't understand when you play at OUC and you go and play those other schools like you just announced, that you're playing against guys, like I know I did, that were going to UC.
They were
Hamilton.
going to Ohio
Yeah.
State.
They were going.
They just didn't have the grades or something.
So you were
Yeah.
playing against Division I athletes
Yeah.
the whole time you were playing, and people don't understand that
No.
in our local Ross County. They
100%.
don't understand. Like you're playing against dudes that you're going to watch on TV. Like I literally played against one guy one year, and then the next year he was rookie of the year in the MAC
No. That's
because
what I
he
was,
couldn't get the grades.
That's
to
what I was going to get to. Like the talent pool that you think that we play against, like we're just guys from, local town,
Ross
Frankfort,
County, yeah.
Ross County,
SVC.
whatever. It don't matter.
whatever.
But we're playing against D1 guys. Now, they were recruited by Ohio State, but they didn't have the grades to get in right away. So they say, hey, you're going to go to Ohio State Newark for a
Yeah.
year,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
you're going to play against these scrubs, and you're going to kill
Yes.
them. And then when you get your grades up there, we can accept you into our college.
Yes.
And that happened all the
People
time.
don't
And guess
understand
what?
that
And guess
around
what?
here. People don't know. You go to
Hey,
OUC.
And sometimes we
But
still
guess
beat
what?
them.
Us local boys.
Oh, we beat the shit. We run that shuffle
didn't scare
like
us one
we
bit,
run
did
that
it?
shuffle like
Nope.
a crazy.
Okay,
I tell you what, that was some of the best days of my life.
Play. I want to talk about the off court stuff because when I talk about the experience of playing at OUC, yeah, basketball was fun, whatever. But I feel like the most fun was the off the court experience with your friends, having a good time. the road trips, everything. If you could take me through that, your guys' experience, because I know I have my own.
Oh.
But Uncle Dave, you played. What was your first year? In
We're going way
74?
back.
2000?
74? God damn, Nick.
2000? Was that your first
Nah,
year?
my first year was probably 98.
Okay, so take me back to
something
98 and tell me about your experience and what you guys did like on the road trips and stuff. Take me all the way through it.
We go into our first round of games, and we're on the road. First weekend. So we get in vans. You remember the vans? The big vans.
No, let me explain it to them. You said the vans. Like, people think maybe we take charter buses and stuff like this, like regular colleges.
No.
Absolutely not. We drove white vans, and guess what?
Your starting point guard is
Prison
probably
vans.
driving the car.
Your point
Prison
guard,
vans.
or the guy who liked to stay sober that didn't drink, he drove the vans because the guys
That
in the
too.
back were drinking
Because
either
the
on the way
coaches
to
were
the
drinking.
game or on the way back from the game. 12th man on the bench who never seen the court, he was probably the driver.
Yeah, we show up, and you got to be at OUC at 8 o'clock.
Yep.
So you get in, you throw your bag in. We're going for the weekend. And the next thing I know, we go down the hill, and we stop off of High Street. The old man chills. He
Gotcha,
had
a couple 30 packs.
And there's 2 big igloo coolers from the size from me to you, full of beer.
So let's explain this a little bit. This guy had his own bar that was friends with the coaches.
it was a carryout.
I would have stuff ready for your bus to take.
It's already sitting
Alcoholic
outside.
beverages.
It's already in the.
So it was already pre-ordered, ready to roll. You just had
probably
to
been on ice for 2 days.
stop the van and he would just pack it for you.
He just opened the back doors. He threw it in.
So he was a proud sponsor of OUC
Proud
Athletics.
sponsor of OUC Athletics.
Let me ask you guys this. You guys are a little before my time. Did you guys drink before the game? Because I never did. I never drank before a game.
I did not, but I have a weird suspicion that that's not the answer for
Uncle
all three
Dave,
of us today.
well-
Tell me about your experience before the games.
I did have a tall boy or two before I came down.
There was a time where your coach would come in and say, "Hey, are you ready? There's 2 minutes left on the clock." And you'd say, "I got a half a beer left. I'll be out in a minute." And you went out with 30 seconds
That's the truth.
on the warm-up clock, and you shot 2 threes and said, "Coach, I'm ready to go." And you'd go out and start the game and still drop 20.
Yeah, dropped 25 that
So
day.
that's the truth.
Yeah, that's the God's honest truth. Because I had to. Because if I had 2 tall boys in me, I'd shoot the ball better. So
Really?
he just let me just do my thing and go on. There's one time Michigan Ohio State was playing at a noon game. I went to the dock.
Then showed up for the game later.
We had a 4 o'clock game. I showed up and I had like 3 fouls in like 2 minutes. It was bad. What I did when I drank them beers before I went and played, it calmed me down. But if I'd have a couple beers in me,
Yeah, no problem.
I'd
shooting the
pull
damn thing.
up from half court like I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like that's what it did for me. I didn't give a shit.
Okay.
Where I pulled from, where I did anything from, I didn't care.
So we heard Dave's perspective. He liked to drink a little before, maybe a little after the games meals. Take me through your area. He was 1998. When did you start? It was more like probably like 2007 ish.
So it would have been 06, 07. It was all still the same. We would shoot free throws and have 3-point contests at the end of practice for cases of beer. You didn't have to go to practice. Obviously,
No, because everybody there has a job or goes to school.
Exactly. I mean, it's a culmination of all the best players in the area.
Yeah.
They go to OUC for college. Like, screw it. Let's play. You know what I mean? That's what I did. Like, I just wanted to play some more basketball.
Let's get
Why
together
wouldn't
and
I?
play a little bit.
Yeah. And so,
And drink beer while we're doing it.
exactly.
Of course I did. But anyway.
So, yeah, I mean, it was all still the same. You know, you show up on game day, and it was probably, like I said, some of the best times of my life, some of the best basketball I've played, some of the best basketball
Ever.
I've played against. But my favorite memories of OUC were and I'm sure everybody can agree, were the weekend getaways.
Let's just say we'd take off on a Saturday morning. We'd play Saturday afternoon, say it was a 2:30 start, and we'd get done by 5. Then we'd go to the hotel, check in, and we'd stay all night. And then the next morning, you'd have to wake up. But the next morning, the games were shitty because it was like a 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. start. And, you know, you guys can, back me up on this. Whenever you stayed in that hotel that night, there was
It
no
got rowdy. Sunday, you played with a hangover.
there was no sleep, and while the girls were playing, the girls team always played before us. The men were in the bleachers sleeping, and I always felt bad for the women because they had to play at 10 a.m.
and they were partying just as hard.
and they were partying just as hard as we
See,
were.
back when I first started, there was no women's team.
Okay,
Oh,
So
wow.
it was straight dudes.
Yeah.
It was straight. It was us.
My first year, our road trips were awesome. I mean, I'm a freshman in college, playing basketball with all of my friends, having a great time, drinking, partying. That's what it was. That's what OUC basketball was. You would, you'd like Clay said, you leave on a Friday or leave on a Saturday, you'd play, and then on that night, you would be getting a whole bunch of beer. You'd be at somebody's hotel room and just having a party, going to the pool, sitting in the hot tub, just having, having a good old time, letting loose. And then come Sunday, you're hung the hell over.
Yeah.
But you're still, we're still out there winning games. You know what I mean? It's still, it's almost like a Gus Macker vibe. Like, you get drunk the night before and next thing you know, you're playing. Yeah. Our coach says, all right, guys, after tonight, we're going to go have dinner. There's going to be in bed by this time. We're going to see you. And everybody starts laughing. Like, there's no alcohol, this and that. We're like, what? Like, this, I didn't go to OUC just to play basketball. Like, I went for this entire experience. Like, this
I didn't sign up for this shit.
Yeah, I didn't sign up for this shit. This, exactly. 100%. Sure, yeah, coach, all right. Next thing you know, 10 minutes later, I'm walking through the front doors of the hotel with two 30-packs in each hand, or a 30-pack in each hand, and he's sitting in the lobby.
What was his expression on his face?
You know what? At that point, I think he kind of already knew how I was and how it was going to be, and maybe had a talking to from other people. And although he was shaking his head, I gave him the nod and just kept walking by.
So probably what he said is he
do
just had to
remember
say
the
it.
next day, we were hungover as shit, and he ripped our ass.
Well, as a first time coach at OUC, and he sees that, at that point in time, you were one of the main players. You were the starting center, or power forward, whatever you were. And
I was a 3 in college. Thank you.
Goddamn, hard to believe that. But anyway,
Here we go.
Anyway,
Here we
we're
go.
not going to get into that. But as soon as he sees you walk through that door with them cases of beer, in his mind, he's like, man, he's probably thinking, what the fuck did I sign up for?
Yeah, he's absolutely
The same
thinking, what the
day.
hell did I sign up for?
Like, I'm used to coaching high school kids and having complete control.
And structure.
And now I've got a 21-year-old center walking through the door feeding his players fucking alcohol
And
the
you
night
can't
before
do
a big game, and he can't do a goddamn
Damn
thing
thing
about
about
it. It's the thing people don't understand. These community colleges, they aren't high school ball.
Not at all.
These kids are coming to play and get to their degree for cheap.
Right.
Yeah.
We're not getting paid to
I think-
play. We're not getting scholarships like, the D1 or
No,
the
we're
D2
all
schools.
guys. Everybody that goes and plays there, we're all guys that had the opportunity to play, chose not to, or it didn't work out.
Everybody there, almost, not everybody, but probably like 2 or 3 players on the team had D3 offers at one point.
At least.
And no one wants to go play at a D3 school because it's all money.
Why would you want to go have to have that structure and weightlift
Exactly.
and be told what to do when you can just
Exactly.
when you just got in ball?
When you can play at OUC, you just drink beer and you play basketball, and that's what we like to do. My freshman year I was on your team.
Yep.
I didn't know
we
what I
have
was,
some good stories from that.
I didn't know what I was walking into. I really didn't. Our coach quit, before, and then that's when
We had a new coach.
we had a new coach, and it was a great experience for me, but it took me a while to get acclimated because high school I came in and I wanted to be like
man.
the D3 coach. Like when I was going to a D3 school, I wanted to put time in. I wanted to get better, whatever it was. But then I realized it wasn't like that. There was 3 or 4 teammates that didn't show up for fucking practice because you know what? They had class or they just didn't show up. And I'm just sitting here.
Or they had to work.
He's like,
or
hey,
something.
go shoot free throws.
And then you just had to make deal.
You had to
make do.
You had to make
just
do.
Yeah,
that's all it was. I played with a 30-year-old that when I was 18. That's just the way OUC works. He dropped 35 points against goddamn Miami Middletown, and a college coach. He coached at University of freaking Dayton, and he pulled him aside after the game.
Was I coaching then?
Yes, and my guy was outside the locker room smoking a cigarette and drinking a
Newport.
bottle of Mountain Dew. And the University of Dayton coach came up to him. He was like 6'6" and could shoot the hell out of the 3. And
Yes, he
was smoking a Newport, and the guy goes, "You know what? I would love to have you come try out for the team next year." He took a puff of that cigarette. He goes,
You don't want me.
he goes, "I tell you what, coach, you don't want me."
That's a true story.
But that's all
That
how we
is
all
a
felt.
That is a true story
Because
because I was a coach on that
You're-
team.
Because you don't want me.
And
You're
that
starting
coach came
5 or
that
starting
coach
6.
came up to us and said, "We want your big man." And the coach was like, "We want you here." And he, like you said, he took a puff of that Newport
I love
and
this
fucking
story.
threw it down. He goes, "You don't want me."
And he just
he
got
got
on
on
the
the bus.
But that's
That was the
the
end of
thing.
the conversation. He just got on the bus.
You don't
But
want
that's
me.
the thing. That's what OUC is. Like most every team probably has 5 or 6, 7 guys that could have played at. I'm not going to say D1 level, but
D3
D2,
elite.
D3. Yeah, you're getting offers. You just chose not to live that life.
Yeah.
We could OUC. We could hoop.
That's funny you bring that up, Clay, because that's a true story.
That is a true
I was
story.
there for
Do
that.
you
I lived
remember,
through that, and that was funny.
Do you remember, speaking of your first year, it would have been my last year, your fight you got into?
Yeah, so
You got in a fight?
I'll
this is
talk
good.
about
Fist?
this. Yeah, just no, well, kinda.
This is good.
We were walking through a line, and we played at a Riot Grand, which is an NAIA school, and we're a little community college.
Oh, Jesus.
And we were playing against.
We
were playing against the #1 team in the nation.
It was like the #1 NAIA team. And
NAIA.
It was the Riot Grand Invite, the Bevo Francis Classic.
It was a classic.
Yeah.
And we got invited just to get our ass beat. We got paid money to come. Anyway, we went, and we were in the losers bracket, and we played against the #1 team in NAIA, and they beat the. I'm telling you, they were up 60 points, boys. I'm not lying either. They were up 60 on us, and at the end of the game, their coach was ill that he couldn't make the weekend because he was sick. He was in the hospital, came down with an illness, and so their assistant coach was coaching. And that son of a bitch ran the score up so high on us. We had our subs in with 10 minutes to go in the half.
They were still full court
and they
pressing
were
us.
still pressing us up 50.
With
Full
their
court.
starters.
With their starters. And after the game, you know what? I had enough. And I sat on the bench for the last 10 minutes of the second half. And the anger just kept building. They would steal it from a score layup, just pressing us. And after the end of the game, I walked through that line. I shook everybody's hand besides that coach's. And I pulled my hand back and I said, you know what? That was a dickhead move. And you would have thought a riot started.
Oh, my. That gym got cleared. Oh.
Clarksburg straight out. Coming at you
the
hot.
thing is, I don't regret that one bit, and I hate poor sportsmanship, but that guy right there,
They were dicks.
They turned my buttons too much that day.
That's wrong.
They were orange. I can
wrong.
remember those fuckers.
It was
wrong.
orange and black team,
Yep.
and then they just ran the score up on us, and they enjoyed doing it. They were up 60 with 10 minutes to go in the half, and they were still pressing.
Like, we took a lot of ass beatings at OUC.
Oh, God,
And
did
a
we
lot
ever.
of times,
Wait,
you're down
and
60,
we took
you're
a while.
laughing with the guy you're playing with. Like, it's fun. Like, fuck it. I'm shooting a 3.
Yeah.
You know, he's dunking on me. Whatever
Yeah.
happens, who cares? But these
Congratulations. You guys are
cocksuckers.
6'8". You just beat the crap out of
Yeah.
fucking a bunch of 11 white
so
boys.
it kind of turned me the
Congratulations.
wrong way that day, but I still don't regret it, so it is what it is.
That's a great story, though.
We got a good story about Dave right here. We were out, and they went out
Would
for the
BD
night.
be one of these?
They left, and they went in a taxi, and they went out to the bars, whatever, and we all stayed back, and we had a good time. You know, we got lit up.
Oh, shit.
But
I
they
know
come
where
back
this
through,
is going.
and this is like 3 a.m., and we're wondering, where the hell where are our coaches at? We are here getting trashed, and our coaches aren't even back to the hotel yet, and we got to play
I like
tomorrow.
the party.
We got to play tomorrow
I like
at
the
11
party,
a.m.
Nick.
And you know what? We're waiting. I texted Dave, and he goes, yeah, we're coming in, damn it. We're coming in. So he walks through the door, and you know how the hotel doors are the glass doors that slide, the motion sensors?
Oh, yeah.
They opened right up. And in the middle of that
Jesus.
lobby was a wet floor sign. And Dave came through, and he looked like a freaking NFL
I look
punter.
like Evan McPherson from the Bengals.
Yeah, he came through. His form was so good, he didn't give a shit. And the lady was literally sitting at the front desk, and he did not give a shit. He walked through that door and kicked that sign across that room so fucking hard, and it almost like there was a balcony where we were standing in the lobby, so it was an inside hotel, and the second floor balcony was right above the lobby, so we could see it. And he almost kicked that sign up to the second floor. It hit the railing.
I love it.
And we were all up there. We're just like, oh my God,
I'll
what
be
the
around
hell
in
are these guys
213.
on?
Come see me, sweetheart.
What the hell are these guys on? And that lady, she's like, oh my God, you've got to get a hold of yourself. And the coaches just walk by like nothing happened, like, hey, sorry, and just walk straight to their room. Unbelievable scene.
We just lost that day. I was pissed.
Setting a real good example for today's youth.
You want to talk about the time that he got thrown out hungover?
I do. Oh, I got thrown out of one of your games before WC.
Let's talk about the time you got thrown out, Uncle Dave. We were on a back-to-back. We were on a back-to-back. We played Claremont, one of the best teams in the league.
Claremont was always good.
And we went in on a Sunday morning, Mills, hungover at 11.
And Claremont.
Yeah. And Uncle Dave, of course, he was hungover as hell when he was the assistant coach. I'm telling you what, in the first 3 minutes, there were 17 minutes left in the first half. He had 2 technicals and walked across the court.
And went into the locker room and took a nap.
Yes,
didn't
he
you?
did.
You went to the van and took a nap, didn't
No,
you?
I went and got a beer. So it was real bad. Like, it was a good game. I mean, we were.
We were only 3 minutes
we
in.
were like well out, man.
It was 4-3.
3 minutes.
With 3 minutes into the game.
But it was a good
Great game.
But it was great. But it was a good game, and we were outmanned. Whatever. So this ref makes a dumb fucking call. And
Are you proud of this moment?
yes, I
All
am.
right, I
I'm
love
very
it.
proud of
Let's
this
hear
moment.
it.
So it's a real rough game, and we're just, they're throwing elbows and they're letting them play. All of a sudden, he's out. We put him in. He's guarding someone at half court, and they call him for this. I said, "Oh hell no!"
So they called him
Hell.
for
A
a
little
cheap
touch
ass
foul.
reach.
When you guys are beating the brakes off each other the whole game,
Yeah.
and they call him for something, just a little reach, so I said, "Oh hell no, that's horrible! You're letting these guys beat the brakes off each other. Let them play." He went, bam. I went, you know what? That's the best call you made all day. He goes, bam. I said, that's the second best call you made all day. And I flipped him off and I walked to the locker
He
room.
literally, no, I'm being serious. He flipped him off.
Give him a double bird?
Yeah. No,
Fuck it.
no, I
That's
tell you
the
what,
best
though.
call you've made all day.
He gave him the single bird with the finger out, so he meant it was real. It was
Yeah.
real.
Ooh. The thumb was out?
Yeah, the thumb was
Oh,
out.
that's a
Oh,
big
yeah.
fuck you.
And I walked straight to the locker room, and then I went straight to the bus, and I got me a Busch Light.
Took you a nap.
Yeah, because I had a little while.
I love it.
Any more on OUC?
What the hell did you do?
Well,
It was at one of my games
It-
after he graduated.
Same thing of when I'm a little passionate. I want to see my brother succeed. I want to see his teams do well.
So you got kicked out
Well,
after
I did.
you were not playing.
Agreed.
Okay.
I'd go to his high school games, yell at the refs, whatever.
I don't
Anyways,
believe
this
it. I
happened
never
to be-
believe you would do that.
No, I didn't think so. This happened to be a night before Thanksgiving game. Crowds are
Yep.
big.
Yep.
I may
Everybody
have
comes
been-
back.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I may have been out a couple hours before having a couple adult beverages. May have been a little bit lit. Yeah, and then, showed up to watch the game and close game, big game, bad ref. Ref that used to ref when I was there.
So
And
you
I
knew him personally.
Knew him personally, and
Personal
I
agenda
probably
against
have
that
some.
old
He's
motherfucker.
probably handed out plenty of technicals to me over the years, and knew who I was. And he's awful. I can remember very vividly. Clay's going down for a fast break and goes up for it was either a dunk or a layup or whatever it may be. Got completely undercut. No foul call. I went absolutely berserk.
Just come out.
I went down the
Come on.
stairs and I said, "That's a horrible fucking call. You're just as bad as you were 5 years ago." And he looked at me.
He didn't like that?
No, he looked right at me.
Oh.
He even gave me a little smirk, I think. Said, "You're out of here." Stop the game. Kicked me clean out.
You think he remembers your face?
Yeah, he knows who I was.
Oh, yeah. He knew you.
He knew who I was.
Yeah.
Because I think I may have got a couple warnings yelling at him prior to getting kicked out, but I'm not going to confirm that or not.
I've got something wrote down here I want to talk about, and I've seen it on the internet this week, and I felt like it was kind of interesting because I feel like I'd be interested in it, and I think you guys would be as well. We're going to talk about the ASB,
What the hell is the ASB?
SB.
Adult Spring Break.
When,
You guys
where,
ever-
and
you-
let's go.
You guys ever heard of it?
I have not.
Did somebody book our flights yet?
This is a group of adults, and they've got a Facebook page, and there's about 750 to 1,000 members in this Facebook page. And it's called the Adult Spring
Why
Break.
am I not a member?
And they go to the same hotel every spring, the same time as spring break. Late
You
March,
talking about like
early
old adults?
April. Yes,
Like do it every year?
we're talking age
Like my age, like old people.
28 to
Like
40.
old people.
Yes, 28
Okay.
to 40.
Adults, yeah.
Yeah.
And they
Thanks,
rent out
you're welcome,
they
Nick.
rent out the same hotel. It's called the Sandestin Resort, and it's about 3 or 4 miles away from Panama City. They're not in Panama, like where the college kids go.
Yeah.
Because Panama City is like one of the greatest spring break spots of all time. And they all have their rooms booked year prior. So this is a big event. Back to back. I mean, these people book it. As soon as they leave, they book it for the next year.
Next year,
And literally, I looked it up and I got interested in it. It's literally like us taking, our girls or whatever, our friends, and booking
Well,
the
Uncle
hotel
Dave
room.
is single, so it's like
And-
us
Going on an
and your
adult
guys'
spring break.
And it's literally
But
like,
I'm all in for adult spring
this
break.
hotel-
I'm in. Let's
this
go.
hotel that week, they host like concerts like you would on the beach.
That is the best thing I've
And
ever
it's
heard.
adult spring break, literally, and it's for a week every year.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Why aren't we going?
Well, it's already over this year.
Why aren't we
I
going?
feel like that would be a
That's
great
the
time.
serious question.
for
Like,
all of
why
us.
aren't we going?
The two best vacations of my life were spring break 09 and spring break 2012.
I never got to go on spring
and
break.
to
so
be
I
honest, in 09, we stayed probably 3 or 4 miles from downtown, from the wild, and it was the best spring break experience I've had. Let's go back.
Dave,
Okay, let's go.
When you were in college, did you have any spring break experience? Did you
No.
go? No, you didn't.
no.
So back when you were in school, you said 98, right? I feel like back in the day would have been so much better for spring break because you had like the Girls Gone Wild tour and you had Jerry Springer.
Oh yeah,
and they were
Jerry
live
was
on
down
MTV.
There. Jerry was down there.
Jerry was on
Yeah,
stage.
MTV
on
Spring Break
stage.
was
He was doing
massive
the
back
wet
then.
T-shirt contest, the titty contest.
like-
Judging.
like-
You can't get away with that shit nowadays.
How smart is Jerry Springer?
He was one of the smartest men in the world.
The dude was a lawyer and a judge, and then decided to
I'm gonna
start
have-
that
To get
show.
real rich off everyone's trashy ass
Yes,
drama.
yes.
I love it.
and
Be a
I
fake,
mentioned
bring it here.
I mentioned it. I think it was the last podcast or 2 podcasts ago. I said if there was a live show that I would love to host, I think it would be Jerry Springer, and I think I could be great at Jerry Springer. I think it would be fun if Uncle Buck was Steve because it would be so funny because he's so small.
He's so small.
Yeah. So adult spring break. I mean, guys, can you imagine like going down there and meeting like all of our friends?
Can you imagine
40 years old or 35, whatever it is, and just having like the week with the concerts, the bikini contest, whatever it is at that age. Like,
Why are we talking about this? Why are we not planning it?
Sip and Serve live from
Same
4 miles
destiny.
outside
Oh, my
PCB.
God.
Yeah.
2022.
How would that be? How would that be? We'll go live from the beach.
I would love to go live one day, and I feel like there's no better place than Sandestin Resort.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm in.
We could have the Sip
When we
and
going?
Serve wet T-shirt contest
imagine-
at the Sandestin Resort,
Nick, come
Panama
on.
City Beach, Florida,
come on.
2022.
Nick.
ASB.
Could you imagine Troy judging a wet T-shirt contest?
Who would be your choice to headline ASB, sponsored by
Oh,
Sip and
my.
Serve Pod?
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
Who's
yeah,
headlining?
who's headlining?
ASB,
Who's headlining?
sponsored by the Sip and Serve spot. Sip
Where
and
we
Serve
going
Pod.
with here?
I don't know. I'm thinking old school because you got to go old school because
Absolutely,
that's what
'cause
we
that's
are.
That's our genre. That's
You know,
where we're at.
I
We're
mean,
going old school. Right?
Everybody watches.
We're going old school rap.
Everybody watched the Super Bowl, right? Snoop and Dre.
I'm all about
And
that.
Sip and
I feel like
Serve.
I'm
You know
gonna
me,
be-
I'm
yeah.
a country boy. But we back in the day, we love our Snoop and Dre.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You hit it on the head.
Oh yeah. Pull out the Chronic and just let them fucking go.
Sandestin, you're going to have a reservation coming for about 20 for the
20.
Sip and Serve podcast. And we're going to want that for free, by the way, because we're going to sponsor.
'Cause
The
we're gonna
Sip and
sponsor
Squad is coming heavy. I promise you that.
The Sip and
The
Squad.
Sip
We
and
need
Squad.
10 rooms.
I
right
need some
now.
Hawaiian shirts with the Sip and Serve Pod
Yeah.
logo on it for this vacation. Let's do it.
We appreciate you guys. My name's Rolski. We'll catch you guys next week.